Welcome to Thought Arouser. We're going to be talking this week about managing multiple demands. There's a misnomer, I believe, in the world that work-life balance is like a teeter-totter. You work and you work until you delicately get that equilibrium just right, and then you hope it lasts more than a few hours or a few days or a week. I'd like to propose to you that it's not at all like a teeter-totter. Rather, it's like a diagram. This one. Look at that diagram and see what it suggests to you in the way of possible responsibilities, roles you might have that come with responsibilities, that come with demands. I'd also like for you to think about the titles that you might have. Spouse, brother, sister, child, employee, boss, leader, volunteer, neighbor, anything that comes to mind. Just make a short note. Some of those will come with demands. And sometimes those demands, depending on the situation, become rather acute, rather important. Then we're going to talk Thursday about how we manage those, how we rank those, so that we keep some sort of balance, because each responsibility that we have has its own set of demands, its own requirements, its own expectations, and eventually those are going to encroach on each other. If we give it some forethought, we're going to do better than if we just roll with it or flex or try to make do. So the challenge is going to be, how do we manage those activities and their demands? How do we preserve our sanity? How do we keep projects on time? How do we avoid being pulled in several directions? President Dwight D. Eisenhower had a chart that he used, this one, in which he would rank responsibilities or tasks or roles in their level of importance and in their level of urgency. We're going to talk Thursday about setting your schedule once. I'm going to suggest on a Sunday night after everything is done, before you launch into the next week. Or maybe you set it for a month, maybe you set it but you set your schedule once, and then you let your schedule tell you what's next and when. And we'll talk a little bit about using phones as reminders, maybe just on vibrate, maybe just on visual, okay? But I want you to think about your schedule. I would also like for you to think about habits that you are trying to create. We're going to visit Thursday about putting several good habits we want in a row, in a sequence, and it becomes then a mini routine that we choose to do at certain times of the day or the week. We're lastly going to talk about the fact that, you'll like this one, multitasking is a misnomer. Studies show that we only focus on one thing at a time. One thing receives the focus. The others are either ignored or they're downgraded. If you see someone watching TV and on their cell phone at the same time, one of those is what they're focused on. If you see someone texting and driving, they're focused on the texting, not on the driving. All right? This is from 2000 Super Bowl, probably the most popular ad of that Super Bowl. And with that, we'll close, okay? And then I will see you on Thursday.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here, and if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories, I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
EDS, managing the complexities of the digital economy.